Hello all and welcome to All Red, Arne Slot's first 150 days. They have been nothing short of incredible for Liverpool. And yet, we need to look at in-depth analysis at each element of the manager's performance so far this season. And we're doing that because this is the channel that is all Liverpool all the time. It's All Red. Please hit that like button and consider subscribing. We are so close to 10,000. We're trying to get there before the end of the year, boys. Come on, let's go, Reds. All right, we're going to start off, guys. I think I have 5 or 6. I think I have 6 different metrics here to rate Arne Slot's performance as Liverpool manager so far. Let's look first at results. I'm giving Arne Slot a 9 out of 10 for results so far for Liverpool. And you really can't dispute that because Liverpool are top of the Premier League. They've only lost 1 and drawn 1 in the Premier League after, I believe, 9 matches. And they sit top over City, Arsenal, and the rest. He's been nearly perfect and is also top of the Champions League as well and into the quarterfinals of the Carabao Cup. So Arne Slot has passed every test so far for Liverpool, even through, we're about halfway through of this gauntlet that Liverpool have, dived headfirst into. You couldn't quite ask for more from the Dutchman as far as results go. Okay, next up, player management. So far, Slot seems to be well liked by all the players. Perhaps the one player who you might question loyalties the most, Trent Alexander-Arnold, since he still has not signed a new contract, said this when he was recently interviewed, kind of off the cuff. He said that every player loves Arne Slot. Now, he didn't have to say that. He could have said something different, but he said that, and I believe he meant it. I believe that's true. That's a good sign. The only reason I kind of dropped the score down 2 points for an 8 out of 10 is because personally, I think Slot, and I'm not saying he's wrong by doing this, but Slot is maybe trying to force the issue with players like Szoboszlai and maybe Andy Robertson. We saw him drop Robertson recently for Tsimikas, but maybe trying to play them into form, like play them so much where they figure it out. And I don't think we're seeing that. I don't think that's working quite yet, especially for Szoboszlai. I love the kid. I think he still has potential to be great, but he has been very, very poor in my opinion for Liverpool this season. At the same time, his ability to strengthen other players like Trent Alexander-Arnold's defensive acumen, I think he's improved that incredibly this season. Strengthen Konate, where Konate is disputably one of the top 3 or 4 center backs in England, maybe in Europe right now. He's even rivaling his partner, Virgil van Dijk, in games where Konate's just been brilliant. Turning Ryan Gravenberch into the best midfielder in England, or at least he was. I'm not sure if he's quite there yet, but over the first 2 months of the season, absolutely he was. And I kind of also took off a little bit of a point here on player management because we are starting to see more and more injuries. Now, that's not necessarily Arne Slot's fault, but when you play a player like Jota almost every week, when you play a player like Konate every week, these are players with injury histories. We're starting to see those injuries are sort of creeping in. Elliott, Chiesa, Jota, Alisson, we're seeing more and more injuries every week, and we hope that those slow down, and we hope some of those players are coming back. But 8 out of 10 for player management. Actually, I'm encouraged by that because a new manager comes into a squad that is really unchanged. And you have players that have been at Liverpool for a long time. This is actually really good. Arne Slot, I think, has come in and he's been a success with the players, which is awesome. All right, next up, we've got defensive tactics. This has been the strongest part of Arne Slot's Liverpool. If Klopp's Liverpool was a high-flying attacking chaos machine, Slot's Liverpool is a controlled and deliberate grinder that will eventually wear teams down, except for Forest, over 90 minutes. Defensively, Liverpool have been the best team in England and nearly the best in Europe in the Champions League. Trent, Virgil, Konate, of course, Gravenberch is a big part of that. And they can all be thanked for that. Slot's tactics have certainly made life in the defensive third a little bit easier, and the results show as much. We can remember during the Klopp tenure, we had spells of very good defensive work, but overall, I think we were all, especially last season, we were conceding a lot more goals. And the defense under Slot has been stalwart and has really, been the strength and the strongest part of this team this season so far. All right, attacking tactics. Offensive tactics. Okay, you might see this number and be tempted to think that I am dissatisfied or I'm unhappy with Arne Slot, and I'm so ungrateful for being top of the Premier League and top of the Champions League. But I'm not. But I think we could be much, much better in attack. Early on, Slot's Liverpool looked smooth. They looked easily dominating possession in games and clearly easily playing out of the back. And in the past month or 5 to 6 weeks, we've just been giving the ball away so cheaply. I know we've been playing better teams, but individual performances in the attacking third when we get possession have just been really poor. And I think a lot of that smooth slot ball, slot machine football that we were really excited about in the first month of the season, it's kind of gone. And it's not there anymore. The results we've been getting, immense, incredible. And yet I would quantify a lot of them in the last 5 to 6 weeks as kind of ugly wins, which, hey, ugly wins are great. Any win is great. The Premier League is tough every single week, but the wins have been ugly. And personally, I don't think that's sustainable. So sometimes the football has been a little nauseating. Players like Szoboszlai, Salah, even at times, I know Salah's great. He continues to score and assist. But for large parts of matches, he is just not great. I want to see that improve, and I want to start to see perhaps just an offensive tactic that is not us giving the ball away after we've had it for 10 to 15 seconds. So I know I'm probably going to get cut apart in the comments, but I think our attack could be much better. And I think actually there's a silver lining there that we've been winning matches and our attack has not been that potent. I think we could be so much better, which is crazy to think because we've been absolutely incredible under Slop. Oh my goodness. We've been incredible under Slot. I was going to say, but we've been a little sloppy. And I think if we start to tighten those things up, it's going to be even better, which is crazy to think. So we're winning with room for improvement. That's a big silver lining for me. Okay. In-game management, guys, honestly, I was thinking about this the other day, actually the night before the Brighton game, the Premier League Brighton game, and I was going to give him an 8 for this. And then we come out flat against Brighton, and Slot makes adjustments in the second half, and we score 2 quick goals to win 2-1. We go clear of City. That was a weekend where in the past, Liverpool have been vulnerable. Liverpool have been vulnerable to seeing a team like Arsenal and City drop points, and then they drop points. It was like a mirror image. And that's what it looked like for 60, 70 minutes against Brighton. And yet Slot made the right adjustments. He made the right substitutions, and boom, we score 2 quick goals to go into the lead, and we do not give that up to go top of the Premier League. Slot is known for being able to pick out opposition tactics before games, before matches, and build his strategy around those tactics to exploit weaknesses. But we've also seen him, for Liverpool, make in-game adjustments when needed. Look at the first week in the Premier League. He takes Kwanzaa out after one half. No injury. He just wasn't good enough for Slot. So he brought Konate in. Completely different second half. Liverpool run away with it with a 2-0 win. More recently, Slot's halftime talk and second half subs against Arsenal really sparked a momentum shift for Liverpool, and we come away with an equalizer there after playing kind of a sloppy first half. If a match is close, you get the sense that Slot's going to just find a way to get a result, and we've only seen one game really where that hasn't happened against Forest. And you can tell it's still eating away at Slot. He just can't get over it. That one really bothered him. So we have seen Slot very, very meticulously detail-oriented. He'll make an adjustment by, bringing on a player who just needs to win more duels than the player that's coming off. And that makes a huge difference in the game. So Slot gets a 9 for in-game tactics. He is very, very good at reading the style of play from the opposition. Maybe that's in the first half, coming out in the second half, and completely dominating and flipping the script. All right, last metric here, guys, and then we'll look at the overall rating for Arne Slot this season. All right, aura. Arne Slot's aura. The first few weeks at Liverpool kind of painted Arne Slot as this calm, gentle, soft-spoken manager, which was a far cry from the passionate and very outspoken Klopp. But since then, Slot seems to have grown more comfortable with the English media, the English language, maybe a little too comfortable at times. And he's much more outspoken. He points out flaws in his team. Maybe he points out flaws in the officiating or the governing bodies, depending on what happens. Slot is not a carbon copy of Klopp by any means. And that's not what we wanted. We wanted Slot to be his own man, and he has been his own man. And he has taken this job by the reins, and he has really made it his own. And most importantly, in this aura category, he's already endearing himself to the fans. I think the fans are really starting to trust this guy and love what he's doing at the club. So, what is Arne Slot's overall rating? We take all 6 of these metrics, we weight them equally, and we get an 8.3 for Arne Slot. That, I believe, is absolutely fantastic to come into a Liverpool team like this. No signings. You bring out the exact same team as last season. You take over for a legendary manager like Jurgen Klopp, and you have this much success. 8.3 actually seems a little bit low, which is probably indicative of that attacking. Maybe I was a little harsh. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below, and we shall see how this plays out over the next 4 or 5 months for Arne Slot and his Liverpool team.
Yeah, of course.